when an amateur defeated Magnus Carlsen. Here we have a very rare event, when an amateur player defeated Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion. This game is one of the most shocking and controversial games in chess history, and it has a lot of lessons for chess players of all levels. Background: Magnus Carlsen is one of the greatest chess players of all time. Being the world champion since 2013, he has a peak rating of 2,882, which is the highest ever recorded. He has won numerous tournaments and titles, and is widely regarded as a genius of the game. So it is no surprise that he's a very difficult opponent to beat. In fact, he has only lost a handful of games in his career, and most of them were against other top grandmasters. However, in 2016, Carlsen played a game against an amateur player in a bar in Oslo, Norway. The amateur player, who we'll call A, was not a very strong chess player. He had a rating of around 1,500, which is considered to be below average. He was not a professional or a serious chess player. He was just someone who enjoyed playing chess for fun. The game started out fairly evenly. Carlsen played the white pieces, and he opened with the Ruy Lopez opening, a very classical and popular opening that leads to complex and strategic positions. A played solid defense, and the game was close for the first two moves. A followed the main line of the opening, and he did not make any obvious mistakes. However, Carlsen slowly started to gain an advantage. He was able to control the center of the board, and he put A under a lot of pressure, and made a few mistakes, and Carlsen was able to capitalize on them. For example, on move 14, A played B5, which weakened his queenside pawn structure. Carlsen responded with C4, which opened up the C file for his rook. On move 16, A played QB6, which allowed Carlsen to play ND5, which forked A's queen and bishop. A had to give up his bishop pair for Carlsen's knight. By move 20, Carlsen had a clear advantage. He had more space, more active pieces, and a better pawn structure. He also had an extra pawn on the king side, which gave him the potential for an attack. The blunder. In the night, the game was decided by a single blunder. On move 21, Carlsen played QG4, which seemed like a natural move. It attacked A's weak pawn on G7, and it also threatened to play QH4, which would create more pressure on A's king. However, Carlsen missed a crucial detail. He overlooked that A could play F5, which defended his G7 pawn and also attacked Carlsen's queen. A took the opportunity and played F5. Carlsen was suddenly in a very difficult position. He had to move his queen away from the G file, which meant that he lost his attack on G7. He also lost his extra pawn on E4, which A captured with his F pawn. A's checkmate. Carlsen tried to fight back, but he couldn't recover from his blunder. A played very accurately and confidently for the rest of the game. He consolidated his position, exchanged pieces when possible, and eventually won the game by checkmating Carlsen's king with his queen and rook. The aftermath. The game between Carlsen and A was a very rare one. It's not often that an amateur player is able to defeat the world champion. The game caused a lot of buzz and excitement in the chess community and beyond. However, A's victory was not without controversy. Some people argue that Carlsen was simply not trying his best, as the game was being played in a bar and Carlsen was not under any pressure to win. They claimed that Carlsen was just having fun and playing casually, and that he did not care about the outcome of the game. Others argued that A's victory was a legitimate upset, and that it showed that even the best players in the world are capable of making mistakes. They praised A for his courage and skill, and they said that A deserved a win. The game has been studied by chess players and analysts for years. It is seen as a classic example of how a single blunder can cost a player the game. It has also inspired many amateur chess players. It shows that anyone can beat a grandmaster if they're prepared and play their best chess.